Welcome everyone. Today I am coming to you with one of my favorite topics, and that is how to start a business. Now, if you click on this video, you're wondering, how can I start a business? What do I need to do to start a business? What type of paperwork do I need to file? Do I even need to file paperwork? Do I need to spend any money? We're going to get into all of that today. And if you're new to this channel, welcome. If this is your first time watching a video on this channel, this is Boss Mom Living, where I inspire other moms to discover their full potential so that they can reach their awesome goals and desires in life. Stay tuned. Okay, friend, so the first thing I want you to consider for your business is, what type of business do you want? Do you want a fully online business? Do you want a boutique? Do you want a brick and mortar? Do you want a business that has to do with food? All those things you need to figure out before you decide to go ahead and jump into the legalities of the business, because different businesses require different things. Once you decide what type of business you want, then I want you to come up with a name. The name is super important. Yes, you can change your name if you decide that you don't like it later down the line. But when it comes to filing paperwork, they're going to need to know the name for the business, the corporation, LLC, sole proprietorship, whichever one you're doing, they're going to need to know a name. So think of an awesome name, okay? So that's the first thing that I want you to do. Think of what type of business it is, and then think of the awesome name that you're going to do to start your business. Okay, now that you got your name and then you got what type of business you want to do, the next step you're going to do is file your business with the USPTO office. That's the United States Patent and Trademark Office. So you want to find out that nobody else has your name that you thought of before you go ahead and say, okay, this is the name of my business. I'm going to start calling it this. I'm going to start branding and putting it on t-shirts. Then come to find out somebody else got your name. So first you want to go and find out that nobody else has that name, that it's not trademarked, that it's not copyrighted or nothing like that. And then once you do that, you can go ahead and also make your logo, and you can also check to see if anybody does not have a similar logo on that same website. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what this website looks like, and we can navigate through it a little bit so I can show you where you can find some things. So here is the uspto.gov website where you can go and look at patents and trademarks. So here I'm clicking on patents. Patents are pretty much like if you had an idea for a product, maybe like a diaper bag or something that you wanted to make. Here's the process that you can go through for your idea if you had an idea for a product. But I'm clicking on trademarks, and we're going to look for how we can search up names that have already been used or approved or trademarked. Now remember, with trademarks, you don't have to go ahead and apply for a trademark. We're just doing this to see if a name has already been taken. So that way, when you come up with a name for a business, you don't use that same name. Let me see what I'm going to type in the search box. Okay, guys, so I didn't know what I wanted to type, so I just typed in White House. And you can see here some names that have been taken. If you look to the right, it says live or dead. If it's dead, then that means it's not active. So you can go ahead and use that name. And again, this is just so that you can search up what names have been trademarked, because if something's been trademarked, you can get in trouble for using that same name. So you don't want to have to do that. I would do a Google search and do a search on here. You can also look up your logo with these search options here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on contacts. And for contacts, you can look at the closest location to you, find their information, and contact them if you'd like to talk to somebody nearby, if you decide to go ahead and trademark. Anybody else ever dance when they have French fries for dinner? I have Wendy's. Okay, so once you went on the website and you figured out that nobody else has that name, nobody else has that logo, and the logo is something that also you don't need to do right away, but I would say for sure check the name. Do a Google search as well. Check the name. That's one of the most important things. Next, you want to get registered with your state. So that way that if you're doing anything like opening a bank account or anything like that, you'd be able to show proof that you are registered in that state. Which brings me to my next point. You need to open a business bank account, because you never want to keep your personal with your business. When it comes time for filing for taxes, you're going to have to sort out like how, this food or this food, was it personal or was it business when you went to dinner for that meeting? You don't want to use it's easier to have a business bank account so you can just show everything that happened, every transaction that happened in your business bank account. I personally like to keep it separate. It took me a while to even think of doing this first, and it made it harder for me because I had to go back through everything in my personal bank account and then separate it. So I don't want you to have to do that. Make sure you get registered with your state and then try to open your business bank account. Getting registered with your state does cost money. Getting your name trademarked or copyrighted does cost money. There are some like regular fees, and then there's fees per state. So that's something that you're going to have to do research on by yourself to figure out depending on what state you're in. You can also get a lawyer to do that for you, which is what I did. And then they have their own fees. So just whatever you think works best for you, you should do. This is something that I should have said in the beginning, but I'm going to add this in. It doesn't matter if I didn't say it in the beginning, because hopefully you guys are taking notes and then you can put it in a certain order. But after you figure out what type of business you want, I want you to think about, are you going into business by yourself? Are you going into business with a partner? Are you going into business with a group of people? That's also something super important to note and to mention when you're going ahead and filing for your EIN or anything like that. If you're a sole proprietor, meaning you're doing business by yourself, then you'll just put you're a sole proprietor. If you are doing business with somebody else, then you'll say it's a partnership. If you are wanting to protect your business so that, when it comes time to, if something did happen with your business, you don't want it to fall on your personal assets, but just the business assets, I would go ahead and do a LLC, which is what I didn't do a LLC at first. I did a sole proprietorship, and then as business started, getting more and more reach, then that's when I filed for an LLC. But you can file for an LLC right away. It's easier to just get it done. You can also file for a corporation, or if you're doing a 501c3, that's a whole nother thing. That's a nonprofit organization. You can also file for that as well. So all that you need to find out, are you doing a nonprofit organization? Because then that's going to require even more paperwork. So you need to figure out what type of business that you're going to do, and then figure those out and then file that way before you open up your business bank account and all that stuff, okay? Another thing that I think is super important, which people say you should only do this. A lot of people say you should only do this if you're trying to get funding. But I highly suggest from the beginning that you should write a business plan. You never know who you're going to get in contact with when you connect with other people. What can happen? Always have a business plan ready and in place. Your business plan should have things like your mission statement, your goal for your company, what you expect to provide, what's your service, your financials, like what are you going to be spending on what. Those are all important things to have in your business plan. I do have a free business plan template on my website, so you can click the link below. I will leave that for you in the description box if you like a free business plan template. That's super important to have. Also, if you are doing a 501c3, it's also super important to know who your board members are. That's going to be something that you're going to need to know before you go ahead and file for a non-for-profit organization. You're going to have board members, at least 3, but I would say get like 4 to 5 if you're doing a nonprofit organization. Okay, friends, so we spoke about you opening a business bank account, right? Well, you also got to keep track of your expenses when you're starting your business, as well as your income that you're bringing in once you start making that money. So one thing that I use is the Intuit QuickBooks system, and it's been super helpful, super simple, and I know that I definitely know if I can do it, you can do it. If that's just an option. If you don't want to do it, you can also get a tax person. But find someone who knows what they're doing, because playing with your business income and your expenses and all that is not one to play with when it comes with the IRS. So make sure you find somebody who knows what they're doing. Or you can even simply do it with the QuickBooks system. It's very, very simple. I mean, that's the only thing I've been using from the beginning. I've been doing it by myself. Very simple. It takes you step by step, and you can even call, like there's customer service that you can call and talk to if you need help. This one is super, super important if you are handling food, if your business has to do with handling food, or even dealing with children. Make sure that you get the proper licenses that you need for food or childcare, anything like that. Make sure you check to make sure that your business does not need or needs licensing. One key thing that I loved that helped grow my business was my website. It's a great place to have everything all in one about your business, where you can sell product and where you can keep an email list. An email list is very important to have so that you can build your community of customers and to share your great products with them, as well as to give them great advice. So the website that I use is WordPress, but I know other people use I don't know what other people use. I just know what I use. So WordPress is a great one. It was very simple, easy to build. Not sponsored. Okay, anything that I send this video is not sponsored. So I'm just letting you guys know what I use. If you know of anything else, then you can use that too. And also leave that in the comments below so that we can know what you use. Oh, Squarespace is another one that I know people use, Squarespace. But yeah, I use WordPress, so it was very simple for me, and there's a lot that you can do on WordPress, a lot of plugins that you can integrate. I learned so much. I think I consider myself a professional web designer just from like learning how to use WordPress. And once you get your domain and your website, also get a website host. I use HostGator. Let me know if this is a video that you want me to make for you guys, like how to set up a WordPress website and all that jazz, and I will do that video for you. All right, let's go into the next thing. So you heard me mention an email list. That's something super important that you need to have to build your customer base. Your customers also want to hear from you consistently. So I use MailChimp, and I know another great one that I have used in the past is ConvertKit. So I can leave links down below for those as well. Those are two great ways, and easily easy ways to go ahead and set up a mail list. There's a tutorial on how to do it on the websites themselves. If you'd like me to do a video for that as well, let me know. You know I got you. But MailChimp, you can send out, they have templates that you can use. They have, you can send out like emails. You can do like if you have a website and your business has to do with like selling clothing online, you can set up like a discount code with MailChimp. I've done all this before, so I'm pretty good with that. Okay, so the next thing after setting up your email list, I would say, is to think of some graphics that you want to do to make your website or your logo or anything look professional. Something that I use is Canva. Canva's like my best friend. I'm on there like almost every day just creating stuff because I just love to create things. Everything that you see on my website, I made from scratch. I didn't pay anybody to do it. I did it all by myself, just from taking time to be creative. But if you're a person who's not creative, you can find people to help you set up stuff like set up your website, logo, and all that on Fiverr.com, Upwork.com. Those are all great places to get someone who can decently do jobs for you. When I first started my business, I had somebody try to make a logo for me and on Fiverr. And I love Fiverr to death, but that one person was just, I had to go back and forth so many times and still it did not come out good. And then they wanted to charge me more because they're saying I kept making revisions. And I'm like, well, you weren't doing what I was saying. So just make sure when you go, you read the reviews and you really like get referrals from those people on there. Or not even just get referrals, just read the reviews and really talk to them. Make sure you message those people and make sure that you get good vibes from them before you go ahead and start working with them. Because, you know, people would say, I'm good at this, that, and the third. And then you come to find out that, oh, I just spit out like $150 and I had to go back and do it myself. So you don't want to end up doing that. Now, I had mentioned business planning, but just planning in general is super important for your business. Whether you use a planner, a notebook, whatever it may be, you're going to need something of that sort to write down your important ideas, your goals, when you want to do things, and how quickly you want that to happen. Because things don't get done unless you make it happen, right? So you're going to need a planner or something of some sort, whether it's digital or paper. You know, I love paper. To write down your ideas, when you want to do those things. Like I know I write down like my YouTube video ideas and when I want to do it, what date I want it to come out, what sequence I want it to come out in. The same thing with my Instagram and same thing with my website, how I want to do things. So it's very, very important to plan. Once you plan, also I want you to come up with a budget for your business because you don't want to overspend, and try to stick to that budget as well. And find people, if you want people to help you with your business, find people who can be within that budget to help you. And if you can't, you know, spend that much money right now, then I highly, highly suggest that you try to learn to do these things on your own. That's what I did. You know, sometimes you may have to do it the hard way, and that's okay. You appreciate it more. Okay, friends, so those are the things that I would say you would need to start off with when you're first starting your business. Let me know how you like this video and anything else that you'd want me to talk about on here. You know, I love getting information from you guys so that I can go ahead and help you as much as I can. But this is what helped me start my business, and I know it can help you as well. So I will see you next time, and be sure to check out some of my other videos. I will leave some in the description box below. Of course, I can't talk tonight. I will leave some links in the description box below about everything that I spoke about. And I will see you in my next video.